This is gonna be my year, guys. This year, I plan to do so much. I wanna get 100,000 subscribers. I wanna make partner on Twitch. I have so many big plans this year. I just can't wait for it to start. Greg, we're gonna have to let you go, huh? Hey guys, and welcome back. So, the year had just started, and it is January 6th. No, it's not January 6th today, but this is the day that this actually happened. So on January 6th, I was actually fired. I was terminated from my job here in Korea. It happened very quickly. Now, to give you the story behind it, you know it has to do something with kids and it escalating like always, because everybody follows what the kids say here. It's like kids to parents, parents to staff, and then staff to us, you know, us teachers or workers at their Hagwons. And then from there, it just goes on to like write-ups or terminations or something like that. That's just how it goes while working here in Korea. So the first thing that happened was on Friday. This is one of my most advanced classes during this term, but the class is not as good as you would think they would be. A lot of them, their English is kind of worse than like a lot of my younger kids or my younger classes. But because they have this thing at like Cheongdam, it seems that if you repeat the class a number of times, they just kind of move you up. It's not like they actually completed the class. It's just like, they've been in this class for, I don't know, a year or something, and like, we need the parents to stay, we need the kids to stay, and the only way they're gonna stay and the only way we can get their money is if we just move them up. So this had to happen to kind of all the kids in this classroom, because there was only one that was good and the rest are not so good. They don't really try at all, don't do their homework and stuff like that. So it's very difficult to actually run the class. Now, this class is based on reading a book. We read 2 books throughout the term, and during this time, nobody actually read the book. Like, this is our 5th week in, and nobody read the book. Like, there was one that was reading, so she was good. But besides that, all the other people in the class, which is a lot, none of them read. They just come to class, we have an exam, they usually bomb the exam because they didn't study for the exam, and then the whole 3 hours of class is based on a book, and we have discussion on the book. Now, we can't really have discussion if nobody reads the book, so that's the problem. And at the beginning of the term, I was well, as the weeks progressed, I was kind of telling the staff, like, it's not really working because nobody's reading, but they didn't really do anything about it. They didn't try to do anything about it. Now, come the 6th week, they didn't read still, and you know, it's getting frustrating. So what I did is I changed to giving them some time in class to read the book and like answer the questions, and then we go over the questions, even though it took a lot more time and we don't complete all the things we need to in class. I'm like, that's the only way I can do it because nobody's really trying to help me, and I can't really force them to read. I can say it, but like, they don't do it anyway. And during that time, there was a word that came up, which was fate. And one girl asked me about it, and I was like, okay, let me just like draw it on the board. I feel like when you draw stuff on the board, it makes it easier for people to kind of grasp the ideal of some things. And I wanted her to really understand, because a lot of times they'd be like, yeah, I got you. And then like, they'll ask their friend in Korean or something. I'm like, no Korean in class, you know, or like something like that. But they didn't really get it. They just don't want to tell you like, no, I didn't get it. They just say, oh, okay. Or they just go on and then they get it wrong, and then they be like, okay, but it's because I didn't understand. But you just said you did, you know? So I drew it out on the board. If you guys know Lotte, big supermarket franchise here in Korea, they're kind of like everywhere. So what I thought about doing is I put like doctor at the top. Then I had like Lotte worker, I had like zookeeper, I had lawyer, I had so many lines, and then I had like, you know, a web going to like, if something happens here, you end up going down this line and stuff like that, to make it like what your paths can be, but at the same time, fate tells you what you're going to be. Now, the girl, I was trying to tell her what fate was saying she was going to be, and Lotte worker was close to doctor, because the last link, if she failed her test, she would go down to Lotte worker instead of doctor. She kept saying like, okay, well then I'll retake the test. And I'm like, well, fate is still saying that she could be a Lotte worker, but she said, but if I retake the test, then I could be a doctor. This time, like 20,000 people, they're applying, and they're still only taking 100. I was like, so, you know, now you're gonna go down to Lotte worker. She's like, no, I'll just retake the test. And I'm like, okay, but what if you fail? And she was like, well, then I'll retake again. I'm like, well, this time, now 50,000 people are applying and they're only taking 100. I'm like, and if you fail, you're going to have to go to low-tech worker. And that's what fate says you're going to be. She's like, well, I'll just retake it again. I'm like, this time, you know, and it just keeps going. And I stopped at 100,000 because I'm just like, girl. I was like, no. This is just what fate is saying. I'm not saying that's what you're going to be. And she started laughing. But then there was another girl in the class who said, out of nowhere, she was just like, I want to go to Seoul University. And I'm like, oh, well, that's nice, but you really have to try to do better in class, you know? She's like, because she wants to be a doctor. And I'm like, doctors nowadays, especially in Korea, well, a lot of jobs in Korea, majority of people know this now, or they learn it kind of later, is that you need English to like get by. The more people that know English in Korea, like the better their chances are of getting good jobs if they're Korean in Korea. And I was trying to help her out because I was like, you haven't been doing your homework, you don't read the book, like there's no way for you to progress in the language and, you know, get a good job, you know, and get into Seoul University. And I'm like, all of this is going to help you, you know? Why want to cram when you could just be doing good right now, and then you won't have to cram because you'll already be good at English, you know? I was trying to like boost her up so that she would do more in class. It should be like, okay, maybe I need to like step back, reevaluate everything, and like do better in English class because it's needed. I'm not doing it just for the class, because no, it is true. Like for any job in Korea, if you know English, it helps you out a lot. And you know, that's all I want to do. I really want to help the students get better at what they're doing, you know. And I feel like if I'm teaching, then I know that I want them to get better, because then if I'm not trying, then it's a waste of my time, you know. And if they're not trying, then it really is a waste of my time, because the only thing I'm here to do is teach them, you know. And a lot of them don't take it as seriously as I do probably, and there's some that do, and they understand like where I'm coming from. Like one girl in another class, she was like, honestly, out of all the teachers, you give like 180% because you try hard, you really want us to learn. And she's in a lower level class compared to this class that is supposed to be good, but they're not really the level they should be. But she told me that, and I'm like, thank you, you know, because like nobody tells me that. And honestly, it makes me sad that like I can try to be the best teacher I want to be here, and it's just like, we don't need you to be that because we only need the money from the students, kind of, you know. And I'm just like, but then why am I here? Like, I wish you would have told me this before I signed up, you know, or I wouldn't have come here. You know, if I'm not here to teach, I'm just here to sit down and babysit, like I wouldn't come here, you know. But what, I honestly, I don't know what happened. That girl that said she wanted to go to Seoul University, she went home. I went home, and supposedly Friday night, after, because we end late, I end at like 10, I guess after class, she went home and cried all night. I didn't know about none of this until like Monday, supposedly. Monday my class started, and then there was like a break, and I was like, okay, break time, I'm about to go warm up my food. And then the head teacher, she's saying, oh, can I talk to you, Greg? And I'm just like, okay. And then we go into another room. But like already, like I said, guys, like whenever she wants to talk, it's never anything good. She never has anything good to say. It's always like she wants to comment on something you did bad. She never praises you for doing a good job. I've helped her out so many times, and she's never really said thank you. It's just like, you know. But like, I stopped doing that. But we went in there, and then she was like, Greg, I'm going to have to give you a write-up. And I was like, a write-up? I was like, what am I getting a write-up for? And she said, well, you told one of the girls in your class that she wouldn't go to Seoul University. I was like, hold up. I was like, I've never told her that she wasn't going to go to Seoul University. And then something about she was going to be a low-tech worker. I was like, what? I was like, I was talking to one of the other girls about the low-tech worker thing when I was trying to explain to her fate that had nothing to do with the girl in Seoul University. You know, I was just trying to help her by saying that she needed English to get into Seoul University and to become a doctor, you know. And then, like, I don't know what happened, but, like, the head teacher went on, like, some kind of tantrum about, like, you always put yourself against the students, and I'm just asking you to say sorry. You don't want to even say sorry to them, you know, and all this stuff. And I'm just like, whoa, where is this coming from? You know, like, were you like holding this in for some time, or are you talking to the students behind my back? Because we do share that class. But I'm like, the only thing I came here to do is to help the students get better. Like, there's a lot of teachers that come here to play around. I didn't come here to play around. I have goals, and those are the only goals that I want. But like, if I'm going to teach, I'm going to teach, and I want them to learn. That's the only reason why I'm here. If not, I don't want to teach. What's the point of me coming here? You know, I'm driven to do what I came to do. And like that's in everything that I do, you know. And then she was like, it doesn't matter. She was like, you have to sign this paper and write like an apology to the girl because you said that she's not going to go to Seoul University. And I was like, I really can't sign that paper because I didn't say that. You know, I didn't say she's not going to go to Seoul University. And I never said she's going to be a Lotte worker. So I can't sign that paper. You know, she's like, well, you have to sign it. And I was like, no, I can't. Like, that would be me saying that I said that. And I didn't say that. You know, I was like, you could check the cameras or whatever. But she didn't want to hear anything. So I was just like, okay, well then, I don't know. I can write an apology, I guess, on another paper. But I'm not signing no write-up because I didn't say that. And it's even wrong that I would have to write an apology on another paper because I still didn't say it, but I'm not getting a write-up for it. And I left, and then I went back to class, and then our next break she was like, can we talk again? And I'm like, okay. And then we go in, and then she was like, Greg, they're terminating you. And she gave me a paper. Let me show you the paper. So this is like my termination paper, which is crazy, right? It's like talks about I became a defensive and stuff like that, and I'm just like, okay. And then this is on the back. So this is like the report cards that we give out. Like she didn't even use like an official document or official paper. It's not even official anything because like there's stuff written on the back. Who would even give this to anybody saying this is your termination paper? I'm just like, this makes no sense. Are you kidding me right now? But like when she said that, my heart kind of stopped because I was just like, what? Like, how did this progress so quickly? And it talks about like some article 13 about how I said that I didn't want to change or something like that, or I didn't want to change the situation. And I was like, all of that's a lie because I didn't say I didn't want to change the situation. I just said that I didn't say what you're saying that I said, you know? This makes no sense. And like, I don't know, I feel like the head teacher has it out for me or something. Or so, because it just makes, none of this stuff adds up. Like, I'm just like, she came up with some random stuff. And it's just like, she don't know how to do her job anyway. I've been in HR, I've been in manager positions. One thing is like, why would you have to sign a paper if you didn't do it? They could have even looked into it. I said look at the CCTV. She didn't want to. Like, she didn't want to. She could. She knows how to do it. She just didn't want to do it. You know, like, she wasn't even doing her job to the fullest, but she came up with a notice of termination. Like, what is that? I was like, you know, and then I was just so shocked. I went back to my room because she was like, sign the paper. I didn't sign the paper. I was so shocked. I did my next class, and then like I was kind of irritated. Like the time I was thinking, I was just like, well, I don't even like this place anyway, so I might as well just go. You know, I was like, it's been like such a headache, me trying to be a good teacher, and people telling me like pretty much like we just need the kids' money, so stop. Kind of, that's pretty much what I feel like it is. It's just like, don't do anything, just come here, watch them, do a little English, you know, and just make them happy and then send them home. Like, what kind of teaching job is that? I don't understand. And I was just like, well, you know what? I don't really care for the place anyway. I was like, first it was good, loved it, and then it started going downhill very, very quickly. I started learning a lot of lies that I was told before I even got the contract and all that stuff, and before I signed. And everything, like not working Saturdays and all the above that I said in some other videos beforehand. So I was just like, maybe this is it. Maybe this is just my time to go. And then I thought like, wow, maybe 2019 is not my year. It's like, maybe it's 2020 because this is only 6 days in and I got fired. I'm like, this makes no sense. And then I was thinking like, okay, well then I guess I would have to find something else. But then I told you guys a plan of wanting to go to school, and I want to start school in March. If I left in January, this is like January 31st. If I left, then the last few checks, which would be my February, March, and April check, plus my bonus check for completing my contract, I wouldn't get. So it's also one of those things, if you guys know about that, about schools trying to fire you before you get your bonus check because they don't want to give you like your bonus check for completing your contract. It could be one of those things too. you know, but I was just like, this is ridiculous. But this is going to ruin all my plans. I plan to go to school and all that, and I can't do it if I don't have my last few checks or whatever. If I sign another contract, then it's going to be more difficult because I want to focus more on learning the language. I don't, you know, at least until I get better, and then maybe I could work on the side or something. But like, I don't want to have to worry about going to class and then work and then not being able to really keep up with the language inside class. But I like to, like I said, I'm driven. I like to give all my being to everything that I do, and I have so many things I want to do, but I don't want to do a full-time job and go to school at the same time. Doing YouTube and stuff, the stuff that I really love to do, that's like a bonus because I love doing it, you know. But going there or probably going to another school, if it's going to be the same thing, it's not going to be a bonus. And then I went in and talked with the lady that's in charge. Side note, I'll tell you about this stuff going on in the school like later, but the owners are always like gone, so there's like kind of like a lady in charge, like the head staff, and she doesn't really know what she's doing either. They're all lost because I don't think they've ever been in like a management position or even HR. They're kind of just doing whatever they want to, or just doing whatever best benefits them, compared to like actually running a company like how you're supposed to run a company. It's just so many barriers, so many people not really talking to each other, so many people not really doing things correctly and stuff like that, and they're trying to act like they're the boss of everything. Class was about to start, and I just left. I went to go talk to her, and then I guess she had one of the other staff members go and stay with the kids. I didn't even know that. Maybe that's why she didn't really care that I was talking to her, but she's like, yeah, I wanted to talk to you. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this escalated so quickly over something I never said. She's like, well, I just want to know what happened in the room, but you didn't want to write what happened on the write-up or whatever. And I was like, well, that's not what I was told to begin with. I was told to write an apology to her parents or whatever, and I couldn't write an apology on something I didn't say. And I can't sign that paper because I didn't say that, you know. I was like, you can check the CCTVs. She's like, no, I believe you, and stuff like that. I just want to know what happened. Can you tell me what happened? And I told her the story I just told you about talking to a different girl about fate, and then talking to her about how she has to do better in class. And I was like, it's actually kind of annoying because like from the beginning, I've been telling you that these guys are not meant for this level. Like I brought it up so many times, like, they don't know what's going on. Like my basic English, when I even like lower it, like they don't know what's going on. And this is lower than like the lowest level of classes. I'm like, and they're supposed to be in the what, third to highest class. I'm like, they don't understand what's going on in the class. They don't understand any of the words I'm saying. You know, I was like, they don't need to be in this class. And I brought this up so many times. Not only that, they're not even trying to get better. Nobody's reading the book. Nobody's doing their homework. I was like, I brought this up so many times and nobody has come to like correct the issue or to talk to them about it or to tell their parents about it. You know, it's just me always trying to find a way to make them improve in class. I even give them 10 minutes now before we do like a page on like the questions that we have to talk about for the book and all that. Like this is time that we don't have, but I'm giving it to them, you know, just so they can do better. And even during that time, they just sit there kind of, you know. I'm just like, I don't know what to do at this point. Like, you guys are not trying, and then I'm trying my hardest, but like I can't force them to do stuff that they don't want to do, you know. They have to really want to do it. And she was like, oh, I understand. I was like, you can check the CCTV, but I really didn't tell her that she's going to be a low-tier worker. I was talking to a totally different student. And she was like, okay. She's like, I don't need to and all that stuff. She's like, I'm just glad that you talked to me. So we talked for about like 20 minutes. And she told me how she's going to talk to the parents and tell them about the kids not doing their homework and not reading the book and so forth. And if they didn't, they would have to come to Saturday class. I mean, I don't really know how much that works, but they did read the following week. But that day, she came in later and she said like, okay, I looked at the CCTV and you didn't say that to her. You were talking to the other student and then you tried to encourage her to do better in class. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, so I told the parents, because the parents called Friday night, they called Saturday, because the staff members are there. Sometimes we have to go in, but the staff members are there on Saturday. And they kept complaining, which is why I got the write-up to begin. And I'm just like, okay. And she was like, so they apologize for calling you all those bad names and saying you're not a good teacher and stuff. And supposedly the other girl apologizes, but at the same time she is too shy to come and tell you to your face. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. I was like, okay, whatever. And she's like, can we just say like none of this happened? And I'm just like, okay. Okay, I guess. I was like, I only have 3 more months and then I'm out of here. I was like, I'm just waiting for that to come. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't. She's like, I'm sorry for everything happening. The parents are sorry. The girl is apparently sorry even though she can't say it or whatever. But what irritated me the most is like the head teacher who said like all of this, like you're being defensive and all that, and started writing all this stuff on my termination paper that never even occurred. I'm like, she didn't say sorry, so I talked to her about it. I'm like, you didn't even say sorry, and you had all this stuff that you want to say. I was gonna say it in front of everybody, but like I just pulled her to the side because I was like, no, I'm not gonna do her that dirty. And I told her about it, and she was like, well, I came in and I told the head staff if we can all talk, all 3 of us, and she said no. You know, it's not really my fault that all this happened. I was like, well, she said that you wrote the termination paper and the write-up paper. She said, yeah, because she told me to. And I was like, well, she said you didn't. But you know what? I don't want to even have to go through this because every time there's a situation, somebody's lying, and it's either like you or her, and it's just too much. Like, I don't want to go through this. The only thing I'm saying is you could have at least said sorry, and you didn't. And she's like, well, sorry, but, you know, I'm just like, okay, I don't need the extra excuses, you know. Just say sorry. You messed up. Whatever. Like, how are you supposed to be a team leader of the teachers and you can't even say sorry? Anyway, that was the beginning of my 2019. Isn't that horrible already? Hopefully we have some better videos going on this year. Hopefully some more fun things, nothing like this. But yes, I was terminated, and then a few hours later I was unterminated. I just can't. I can't. 3 more months. See you guys next time. Bye. You're still here? Thanks for watching the video until the end. Please don't forget to check out the description box below for info on my friends that were in the video.
Hi!
Product links, my other social media platforms, and my new product designer. If you guys love the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to comment because I really love reading and writing back to comments that fans leave. And thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.